Another hot day in Southern Virginia. Had no water. Located the wellhead, which I previously didn't know where it was, and saw a little bare spot in the grass. Where that spigot is where it goes into the basement about 2 feet down. So I said, you know what? Maybe it's the bare spot. Stuck the probe in, boom, hit the top. So that couldn't have went any better. Praise God for that. Dug it out. My neighbor, John, third place nationally ranked enduro championship, American Motocross Association, 1973, was over here helping like he always does. It sure is a blessing to have good neighbors. Through the years when we bought the place, he's just always been here, and of course I try to be there for him too, but he's got far more wisdom on this country type stuff than I do, having grown up in the city. So it just seems like he's always there to help. I appreciate him. He's a blessing. So he's going over to get a chain. Here he comes, 84 years old, 1973, as I said, 1973, third place nationally ranked enduro champion. And he's going to bring a chain, and we're going to hoist this sucker up. All right, we got the pump out, and this, I pulled this apart. This piece is a threaded connector that goes in here, and it was sheared off. It was corroded. I chipped a little bit out, but I ended up cutting it past the metal adapter because I couldn't pull it out. The pipe looks good. Making a decision on whether I want to replace it. It looks pretty clean inside. It's not chafed on the outside. I'm thinking that I always think the quality of the newer stuff is lacking, so there's no problem with this pipe. I may not choose to replace it. Normally, I mean, I got the thing open. I wouldn't mind buying a new pipe. But if I'm going to buy a new inferior grade plastic, then what's the sense? This thing's holding up. The wire looks good. The rope looks good. Although, you know, if it's waterlogged down here, I think what I'm going to do is tie a second rope on just for redundancy, just in case. But I'm going to leave that rope. It pulled right up with that rope, no problem. I didn't measure it yet, but I'm approximately 100 feet. So, we're going to, my neighbor's got he's going to get a 50-gallon barrel, and we're going to fill it with rainwater, catchment from my rainwater system. And we're going to drop that pump in there, and we're going to see if it works. It was drawing amperage, so I believe it does, and it looks like that's the obvious problem, that break right there. Of course, I don't know for sure that that didn't break pulling it up. So before we do anything, we just want to confirm that the pump is pushing water. I cut the wires from up there and hooked them back in, and we're gonna drop that pump in a barrel filled with water, and we're gonna fire it up, and we're gonna see what happens and go from there. But we're making progress. Set up the shade shelter, and then of course then the clouds rolled over, which is okay. Pulled the cover off with the tractor, and we are rocking and rolling. As long as we have availability of all the parts and we can diagnose that check valve, foot valve on the pump, we should be back in business today with any luck and with God's blessing. Thanks for watching. All right, it's all back together. Probably going to wait for at least a day or so before I rebury it, just to make sure that everything's intact. But I added in a second rope. We got it all put back together. Replaced the foot valve and the bushing that was sheared off, and also replaced the pipe going down with a new pipe. The other one looked okay, but it's been in there for quite a while, and I wasn't sure if, I mean, it's sheared, so I didn't know if it had rubbed and was weak anywhere else, or for whatever it was, 75, 80 bucks, I figured it was worth it while we had it open just to put a new one in. And that's it. Tomorrow or the next day, if I don't have any issues, I'll throw the cover back on, throw the dirt back over the hole, and we'll move on. One good thing out of the way was now I know where it is, number one, and we've been kind of saving up our pennies for a simple pump, so I also now know that the well is only 81 feet below the surface, or below the bottom of that pit, which is about 3 feet below the surface. So a simple pump application would work fine. Thanks for watching. God bless you.